Hi, thanks for watching my video. This video is to help you troubleshoot a troublesome iDrive on a BMW E60 or E61 estate model 5 Series. Basically, the symptoms were, for my iDrive, the radio started turning itself on and off. So as you were driving along listening to the radio, it would suddenly just go quiet as if it was paused, and then return back to normal service about 5-10 seconds later. Subsequently, it got worse, and the radio itself would start to play up. The screen would go blank. It would just reset itself with the BMW logo, and just generally the whole thing being very problematic. A little bit of research led me to this component, which is called MPM. It's a little box of electronic gizmos, slightly larger than a packet of cigarettes, I would say. It has a small electrical plug on the top. Just about make it out there. And this is the guilty component, in my case, which actually sits, believe it or not, at the bottom of the boot, right at the bottom of the wheel well. And in my case, this component actually got water ingress. Not quite sure how the water managed to get into the boot, but we'll have a look at that later. And this was the faulty component. So we'll open this box at the end of this video so you can have a look at the corrosion and everything else that was in it. But now I'll just show you in the boot whereabout it lives. Okay, excuse the darkness. I'm filming this at night. But this is my car. It's a saloon model. I also own a BMW E61 estate, and the component was in the original position as with the saloon, but has now subsequently been moved. Now, basically, where the spare wheel sits in my vehicle, I know all BMWs don't have the spare wheels, but basically, underneath the spare wheel, I'll show you in a minute, is a piece of foam, and the component. And there you can just see the white box. This is the replacement one I fitted. Also in the same loom is a rear parking sensor controller. And these two boxes sit on a loom. There you can just see this multicolored loom. And believe it or not, that loom was actually running down the back of the vehicle here and down underneath the spare wheel into the bottom of the compartment. I'll just pause this and show you where it lived originally. Okay, so now we can see I've actually removed the spare wheel from the spare wheel well, and like I said, we can see the two boxes and the small loom that previously was running down the back of the boot floor and then into this foam assembly that's on the bottom of the actual spare wheel well. And these two boxes were just literally clipped into the subsequent apertures on here. And they just sit there. Now obviously you get any moisture or water into your boot or into your wheel well, like I must have done on some occasion, and then the box, the MPM box, just basically sits there in the water corroding away, and then that's what's obviously gives you the problems with the iDrive, etc., running from that. Quite why they put it right at the bottom of the boot floor, I don't know. Bad design, I guess. But what I basically done is just literally pulled the loom back, pulled it back, and I've just loosely put the boxes behind the side trim panel, which I've removed there. You know, I'm sure you can all figure that one out and work that out. And now they just sit up there, and obviously, hopefully, if I do ever get any water back in the boot, we won't experience another problem. That was a replacement MPM box I bought off eBay. I bought a good second-hand one. I paid around about £50. I think new ones are in the region of £80 to £100. But I just, like I said, bought a second-hand one, made sure it was the same part number. There are lots of different part numbers on eBay, so be sure to make sure you get one that's the right sort of part number as the component that you're removing. Also need to make sure with these MPMs, because of the part number, if it's not the same part number, then I believe you might have to code it to your vehicle. I read a lot of things on the internet about coding it to your car and everything else, and in the end I just thought, sod it, you know, I'll bang it in and see what it does. And mine worked absolutely perfect. There was no problems with mine, no faults. It just worked straight out of the box. So I'm not too sure about the coding side of it, but obviously some people have experienced issues with that. I'll pause this video now, and then I'll show you what the box looks like inside when it was all corroded. Okay, so this is the offending article, the micro power module. It fits into the loom via a multi-plug assembly, which has a sliding sort of affair going on to get the plug off. Now when you try to pull it off, it does go stiff and very hard, and you think, I'm going to break something here, but actually you just have to pull it all the way to the end to release the clip, and in fact then it just basically comes off. That allows you to pull the plug off. You can see here where mine had been corroded. This is a lot cleaner than it was when I first took it out. It was a lot badly corroded, a lot more corroded than this. It was green and everything else. So I'll just open the box up now. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so with the box opened up, the back of the box, the circuit board is free to come out. And basically this is what I found on mine. You can see here how the pins come through onto the circuit board. One of them is absolutely totally corroded. You can see it's actually gone. This one right up here in the corner, it's physically missing. It's completely corroded off the board. To give you some sort of indication of how bad the board was. I did start to try and repair the board. You can see there I've wired in a new resistor, and I was going to put a jumping link on there and try and repair it, but you know, you get to the stage obviously where you think, well, for 50 quid is it really worth it? I'm just chasing my tail here. Obviously the car's a nice car, it's worth spending the money on. So that's the offending article. I'll just show you the part number for what it's worth, and this is the part number what I replaced on eBay. You can see there's a few numbers on the box. It was the 558921110 that I actually went for, but like I said, there are lots of different ones on eBay, so you need to be careful to get the right one. Okay, even if you haven't got the problems on your vehicle at the moment, if it was my idea personally, I would suggest that you go to move already. Then even if you haven't got the problem, if it was me, like I did on my E61 estate, I moved it as a precautionary measure. Not quite sure how the water got in the boot, mind you. I dried it out and I've never had water back, but that's another story. Okay, hope this video helps someone. Thanks for watching.